Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here.
Go lock in with Tamika's Den. Ooh, that's fire. Go lock in with Tamika's Den.
Hello. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Hello, 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 beautiful ladies. hello,
Hey,
hello,
hey,
beautiful
hey.
people in the chat. What's going on? Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all, ladies, for joining me, especially last minute, honey.
Yes, ma'am. No problemo. We got you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey Kendall, hey Nia, hey West Coast Barbara. Barbara, did you see my post in the community tab for you? Hey Nia.
Hey, 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 Nia. Hi, Kendall. Bink,
Thank
bink,
y'all
bink.
for joining. So yeah, you guys, we want to talk a little bit about the 6888, okay? Shine a light on them. Hey, shine a light on them. Okay, that's what we are here to do because baby, I didn't know about these women, and I had mixed emotions. Me and Miss Kira was just talking a little bit backstage, but I had a little bit of mixed emotions that I didn't know. But I'm glad to know, right? Because we always could use some like new information, updated information, and I feel like for a long time we kind of gotten the same stories over and over and over. So I'm definitely here to be able to learn about new people. I want to see more of that, and I was even thinking about like it was only a handful of people that I remember learning about in school versus my son being in daycare and coming home with like the long list of black inventors and me being amazed at learning about some of them. And then looking at the kids now where they actually are trying to take books away, trying to take certain programming off of school. So they're going to be learning even less than me and my son learned. It's really going to be up to us to kind of educate ourselves and also educate them. So this kind of made me, think about all of that. But we're not gonna do like, a traditional, I guess you would say, review. Is not like a scene by scene type of thing, but I did want to know y'all overall thoughts of the movie because I definitely have seen mixed reactions and reviews and seen some of what the streets was saying. Um, so just like our overall thoughts, we'll probably talk about some of the characters, but then I did want to, like I said, shine a light on just some of these women and all the women really to uplift them, say their name because I think they're amazing, and I'm like happy that this story was told, even though I may not have liked all the parts of how it was told. That's a different story, but Candy Love, we will start with you. Did you ever hear of them before? And what did you think of this, film?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it at all whatsoever. Not even just in the slightest. I think you might have did something back in October, November, maybe October or something that it was coming, and then you did something again in November. And I was like, okay, let me see what this is. So I looked at the whatever I could find like for a trailer, and I was like shocked at. I'm like, is this a real story? And I'm like, these real people, and it was a real life story, and I was kind of shocked and upset and kind of thrown off, like how we did not know even a little bit about these people. We knew everything else. Like my grandfather fought in World War II. I never heard of this,
Yeah.
I have military family members. I've never heard of the 6 AAA. I never heard of this. Never heard of anything about mail. anything like that. But which I'm glad I have now, and my daughter does know now, and I'm able to teach her because, like you said, they're gonna try to take these things out of the school system. But we, as parents, as adults, the more you know what they say, each one teach one. So I'm just glad that I do know now that she can have something to talk about. In hell, February is about to come, and she has something to talk about now, as a presentation, because I'm sure she's gonna have something. So I'm rambling on, but I would like to have learned a little bit more about Major Charity, the one that played Carrie. Well, I would love to hear more about her, how she became, where her start was. I would love to know more about her. But yeah, that's my take on it for now.
Yeah,
Like
I
I was
agree.
saying to Tamika, I was a little embarrassed because I did not know anything about these women. I heard a great bit about the Tuskegee Airmen, so I was familiar with them. I think I had at least one uncle that was Tuskegee Airman. He's no longer here, but so we had the history, but representation definitely matters. So I thought it was very, very important to tell this story. I took, a lot of pride. It got me teared up. I was happy. I was sad. I was mad. I was all the things that I have to wait till above the age of 40 to learn about Black women in the military back in the day. So that was my feeling on it. I feel like it was pretty well told. My critique is kind of similar to what Candy said, and I've kind of heard around the social media streets that I just wanted like a little more of their stories. But I mean, 2 hours and we got this, so maybe we can do like a documentary or something else on them, because I guess they just were under time confines, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. I've seen a lot of sentiments that was saying they wanted more charity. They just wanted more of the story in particular, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. But I agree with those sentiments. Hey, Shayna, what's going on? What's up, DeMarcus? Kendall, thank you for coming in.
And I do want to say something really quickly. I do know that the story is told from what's her name? Ebony's character.
Yes, Lena.
Lena is told from her point of view.
Yes.
So, which I appreciate that as well. But I still, like Kira said, I would like to see a documentary on or something on Miss Charity, Major Charity.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course you guys know that the AAA is about 855 women that joined the war effort to address a 3-year mail backlog. Despite discrimination and horrible war conditions and all of that, they are able to sort through 17 million pieces of mail ahead of the time, half the time that they gave them, because I think they was giving them like 6 months and they got it done in 3. And we know that the damn director, producer Tyler Perry, there was actually other producers along with him. I think it's Nicole Abbott, who actually won an award or was nominated for an award, Angelique Bones and Tony Strickland. I hope y'all know I'm a bitch of some people names, but then him and Kevin Heimer was actually the writer, so he didn't write by himself. However, as usual, because we know Tyler will write things in a matter of, a couple of weeks, and he was putting it out there like, he was so proud about that. But I feel like that's part of why it was the way it was too, because we writing stuff fast, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about that part, because for me, this wasn't his worst, but it wasn't his best. But I definitely was trying to put faith in it, like, okay, this is a documentary. He don't typically do documentaries. And I felt like he wasn't doing it by himself. So I was trying to be like, all right, we rooting for you. You got to do this right, because this is an important story you're telling. As far as who it was starring, I'm not going to name everybody's name, but we had Kerry Washington, of course, who I feel like carried this thing on her back. And she was also one of the executive producers. We had Kylie Jefferson, Ebony. I'm gonna not mess up her last name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but a lot of people seem to not be too familiar with her. And we know her from Sisters, of course, and she's been in some other things. So, of course, this is like the real, actual women, and then the movie. And then we had Sonia, Manya Jackson, and Shani Shanti. Of course, I didn't even know that Oprah was supposed to be in this. So, like, the last minute, we had Susan Sarandon, Dean Norris and Sam Waterston, which I was kind of surprised to see him. And they did have, like I said, a couple of nominations. Most of them are for the music. Actually, Diane Warren, which that don't shock me because Diane Warren been out here writing for everybody and their mother for like eons now. But it's one song that I guess her sung and she wrote, and so she's like got nominations for original song, outstanding song, and all different kind of stuff. Composer, lyricist, all of that. They have outstanding lead performance for Kerry Washington, which I do think she deserves that. And like I mentioned, Nicole Avon, she actually is like, got some kind of nomination for producer. And then Tyler Perry is up for Critics' Choice Award, so it is some positive stuff, but as far as the critics, which I don't usually focus too much on the critics, it's pretty much been like around maybe like between a 5 to a 6.5 as far as the score. As far as the streets, I've seen a lot of people saying they like it, but I've also seen people say it was too slow, it was boring. They say that Lena could have been wiped completely out of it, and I actually was kind of disappointed because a big YouTube channel, I'm not going to say the name, but they were reviewing it, and they just kind of tore it to pieces. It was feeling like they just literally came out to tear it to pieces, point blank, period. And they were saying that Lena could have been wiped out as well. And I'm like, how can we wipe her out when she's a real person and this is her story? Like, I don't know. That made me feel a way. Some of the
we could tell from how they opened up the movie. Like they opened up the movie from her perspective. I was like,
yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie, y'all. For me personally, when we started out, I was like, okay, this is definitely shaky. What's happening here? What is the acting? Where are we going? Just like that opening with her and the guy, which we'll get into that a little bit more, but I was kind of,
y'all forgot good old Donna Bisco.
Yes, and a lot of people were saying that was freaking Jasmine Guy, and I'm like, how the hell do y'all think this is Jasmine Guy, child? Like, that's the part that was kind of annoying me. Now she could have played her mama, but that definitely was not Jasmine Guy. What's up, OT Lunch? Yes, Kerry Washington definitely was cooking. Okay,
women's armor car.
People slept on Captain Louise Campbell Major Adams' right hand. Yes, I liked her too. Listen, for me, they can give us more of all of their stories. And if I did have any critique, I would say that I would have liked, but also you guys keep in mind, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but I did go down the rabbit hole after watching this because I did want more info. And while there is a lot of documentaries, you can find a lot of stuff on YouTube, especially Google is free, but you can find stuff that's 3 and 4 years old, all the way up to like 15 years, 17 years. You can find a lot of the interviews that they did. However, a lot of the things that you will find on Google is pretty much just similar things wrote in a different way. It's not a whole lot of extra information, right? And so you also have to keep in mind of that and what they had to go on and the information that they was given. And of course, we know and learned that no male, low morale was, pretty much their slogan that they had came up with, right? And again, we have to think about the time that this was. Like, women were not even allowed to join the army, I think, until like 1942, right? And then December of 1941 was when it was the attack on Pearl Harbor, and you had President Franklin Roosevelt sign a bill creating the Women's Army Corps like in 1952. So the 688 was created December 1944, right, in order to alleviate the backlog of the mail that was accumulated from the U.S. Soldiers that were stationed there in Europe, who were numbered around 7 million or whatever, right? And according to the Library of Congress, the 688 was comprised of mainly Black and brown women ages 17 to 52. Well, some of these people was like crazy young, okay?
Wow.
And then they had to fight 3 fronts because they had to deal with first segregation, then the war, Then third, some daggone men, okay, that wasn't happy that they was there. So we talking about them having to use separate fountains, of course, that's they colored and all that other different kind of stuff. And they did receive basic training. They did the gas mask training, which they showed us in the movie, right? And then on top of that, you dealing with discrimination at the same time. So I just feel like, you know, I've seen
sexism,
yes, sexism, racism, like all of the above, absolutely. So I think that we definitely have to keep that in mind. And when they were like being sent over, they also had the original place they were supposed to stay at was bombed. So then they couldn't stay there. They go to the Red Cross Hotel, and the Red Cross Hotel didn't want to let them in because they didn't want no daggone black members to be staying there. So it's just ridiculous, the stuff that they had to endure. But nonetheless, of course, we also saw this in the film where they get there and there's several warehouses full of these daggone mail packages. You got containers of spoiled food because people were trying to send their loved ones cakes and fried chicken and all kinds of stuff. I can't even imagine.
That was wild.
Food had mildew, is being rats and rodents and all kind of crazy.
You know that was stinking up in there.
That's why the rats and rodents and everything was there. Like a lot of stuff, it was just terrible. The living conditions, like in real life, because that they were sending. Like, which I mean, you want your babies to have the stuff, but goodness gracious, you know, I ain't mad at it though.
I don't think they accounted for this. I think this is like unprecedented. Something
exactly, because they like the first ones to do it, so it's really not nothing to compare it to, right?
Yeah,
when you the first one to come and do it. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
I can see myself trying to send my son something to shoot.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, my baby has some home
care package.
Okay, how long it take to get there?
Exactly. So you know, one thing Tyler Perry gonna do, he is gonna give you some fresh faces and a mixture of different, you know, people. I will always give him that. And you know, of course they came from just all different places around the world and they meet up here. Now again, like I said, Kerry Washington, she did the damn thing, and she of course was playing Charity Adams. And then we had Ebony playing Lena. And some people, like I said, was just like, oh, we could have left Lena out. No, we couldn't, but I do feel like we could have told Lena's story in a different way. And I also feel like, you know, how they went kind of to the back and showed us her backstory. I wouldn't have mind if they would have did that with a few of the girls. Like, we had a little bit of their story, and then we see them coming in, and then we see them all together and meet up. Like, I think that could have been another way that they could have did it as well. Just me and my opinion. But of course, that is
like maybe cut down on some of her story to give maybe a couple of other people's stories.
Right? Yeah.
A nice little like a 15-20 minute chunk in the beginning.
Yes. I agree. So of course that's the real life Lena, right? And then it's Ebony who played her, and that's her when she was younger. Okay, working her military outfit. Hey, Auntie. Yes. Okay, she said, love this movie, best Tyler Perry movie ever. And she's not a Tyler Perry fan, so I know she mean that when she said it. But also, because like I said, people, and some things, y'all know, I review Tyler Perry stuff, so some stuff I get on him about, and some stuff I fully understand the critique about. But I also feel like, you know, some people, if you just don't like him, you just coming out and saying whatever. Like, they were talking about how he didn't, I want to find it because I know I made a note of it. I just don't know where the heck I put it at. Okay, first of all, he wouldn't have had the story if it wasn't for Lena, like we were saying, right? Mm-hmm. He actually got to speak to her in, I want to say, right before she passed, April 2022, he had a meeting with her, right? Mm-hmm. And she died January 2, 2024 at the age of 100. So she lived a long, beautiful life. God bless her. And this is what inspired him to do it. And my thing is, okay, who else was trying to do it? Who else was trying to get this story and put it out there?
Clarence Avant's daughter was a producer on there. Clarence, the one that passed, the one that was his daughter was a producer, and I was glad to see that.
Yeah, because these women didn't get any acknowledgement until between 60 to 80 years later. They started getting different honors in their home state. They started getting awards. It was 80 years later when President Biden would end up giving them the Congressional Medal of Honor, March 2022. And then it's only two of them still left, right? It's Fannie McClendon, I hope I'm not messing up her name, and Anna Mae Robinson, right? And in 2022, there was 6 members still alive, which was Ramay Davis, Priscilla Garcia, Fannie McClendon, Gladys Blunt, Lena King, Anna McRobinson, and Davis was the oldest surviving member, right? And she ended up passing away June 21st, 2024 at the age of 104, okay?
Wow.
Followed by Blunt, who passed away just a day later on June 22nd, 2024. And there was no roses, there was no parades or no ceremonies when they got back home, okay? Like I said, nobody knew about them and what they did. And what kind of ticked me off, I have to do a little rant. I don't want to spend too much time on it because this is about shining a light on them. But I got to rant a little bit because, like I said, I was seeing comments. And the fact, and it doesn't surprise me, but the fact that some people was in the comments saying, why is this heroic? Who asked for this? Why is it heroic that they did a job that everyday people did and we supposed to be honoring them? And then there was comments that was saying, oh, they came at the end of the war anyway. I don't give a damn if they came the last day, the last hour, the last minute, the last second. They was there. And why would you think that their job is any less when obviously nobody else was able to do it and they did, and they did it in record damn time? So yeah, we all going to celebrate them. Yes, they are heroes, and we all going to uplift them, and we all going to shine a light on them. Like, that ticked me the hell off because it is very ignorant. You know, I too have served in the military, right? That was in World War II, Vietnam, all across the board. My mom used to stay trying to get me in the military, and I'm like, yeah, no, that ain't for me. But I respect everybody that did it, and everybody had a role to play. Mind you, a lot of them had other jobs in the military before they moved over to this particular part, whether it was nurses, you know, teachers. I remember Lena in her interview saying that she dealt with like the wiring. I forget the exact name. But she had some job with like doing the wiring before she transferred over to this part. But to just try to minimize them and make it seem as if it's not important. Like, I have family members that's actually in a book for the Smith Plantation where my great uncle was like the head of, he would tell all the other workers what their jobs was, you know, to do and where they had to go. Another great cousin was the head driver. My great aunt was the midwife that delivered hundreds of babies, black and white, and they're in the history book. So they would probably say to that too, like, oh, why they in that book? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell are you talking about? But these would be the same people that would be like, oh, you're not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, and you know, I ain't even gonna go. But anyway, y'all get my point.
And their circumstances were different. It wasn't just like you had to just take the letter and send it. Like, all the things that they had to go through and put their heads together. And this one worked in this field, and this one I can identify fabric, and oh, this symbol means this, and this, like, the fact that you had to do you know, a whole puzzle together just to freaking mail some off and get it there. Are you kidding me?
Yes. And I even seen one reviewer, and I was disappointed again because I know everybody's not like me. Like, typically, even when we doing flashback movies, I would look up certain facts about it, and I would, you know, say how did it wait, you know, age and different things of that nature, whatever. And I know everybody's not going to look for facts. I guess they feel like you watch the movie and it should all be there, but to me, I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of lazy. But somebody made the comment that they didn't need the dancing part in it, that they had an issue with that too. They felt like that was random. Hold that for a minute. And what was the other thing? I just lost my daggone train of thought. It was something else I was about to make a point about.
You talking about when they went to the little club thing?
Yeah.
Shit, that was real life. What you mean?
Right.
I'm just saying.
You said that was supposed to be working.
Oh, what Miss Chira said about the different things they did to be able to find the people for the missing Mel. They said that was made up. They said, oh, that's when he really started doing too much because he made up. Oh, they looked at the perfume. They looked at the fabric. If you watch any of their interviews, they said that's what they did. And I don't find that hard to believe. They was like, oh, they turned into Inspector Gadget.
I was going to say, I mean, even if it was only like 4 out of the 6 methods, it still was 4 out of the 6 methods. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not straightforward is the point, you know?
Yeah. Like they did what they had to do to get the daggone mail. Like, they were labeling stuff.
Nobody else could do it.
Candy. Like, it had nothing else. To John in the army from Candy. Like, that's all it was. They had to figure it out. Like, they had to figure stuff out. They did have to play Inspector Gadget. They did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They did.
Exactly.
I'm not questioning that whether it's true or not.
It doesn't matter.
That's not hard for me to believe because that's stuff that we do every day, any daggone way. So
we
it's
nosy, okay?
It's not hard. Like they literally was saying that, you know, let's say you got 1,500 John Adams, all these people that got the same name, and them trying to figure out, well, which John is it that they talking about, you know?
They read the letter.
Right. And then they got in trouble for reading them letter because they was like, how dare y'all black people sit here and open up the white people damn
Rip it up then.
Yeah, what you want me to do? Throw it away? But I'm telling you,
and
what
then
got me in the movie was
tags, but I'm sure some of the numbers was missing and stuff. Like,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
What really got me in the movie, because I really did not understand exactly what the movie was about until that lady was like, I got any mail for my kids? Like,
right, she's the one that started it off. It was her coming.
I was like, okay. Even though I saw the review, even though I read a few things, I still didn't put it together until she was like, I haven't heard from my kids. I don't know if they're alive.
Yeah.
And then the mailman was like, no, this is it. And then she went, you know, of course, she went on ahead and did what she had to do later on. But I was like, okay.
Yeah. I like a mama to stand outside of the White House or wherever she was standing.
I would not question it. I wouldn't question whether that was true or not because I wouldn't. Because hell, it sounds real. I wouldn't question it. Because
it sounds like a mama. Yeah, like
yes.
I need answers.
Okay?
Right.
There wasn't no cell phones. It wasn't no none of that. So she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely.
People are weird. People are weird.
Absolutely.
But even if it's not entirely accurate, like get the point of what it is they're trying to say to you. Like it doesn't have to be 100%.
Because there's nobody.
Like, this is the message they're trying to convey.
And then there's somebody to really tell the story. This is not something that happened 50 years ago, and you got 20 people to go to. You only had like 1 or 2 people to pick off of.
Right.
Yeah. Because think about how many, even when we've done, I say this all the time, when we did The Temptations, when we did Bobby Brown, New Edition, the list goes on and on, Tina Turner, right? I have said they changed some of the stuff, even though I didn't feel like they needed to change some of the stuff. They left some of the stuff out, and they definitely had more info to go on than in this situation. That's what they do with documentaries and books and biographies and all of that anyway. But like for instance, even this man, he's real, right? Greg Sunken played Abram David, right? And that really was Lena's childhood friend. Now I don't know about the romantic relationship, like I said, I necessarily like how that was portrayed in the movie, but this was somebody she knew from childhood that went to schools with her, that protected her and stood up for her. And then when he lost his life, it did impact her, and it was a big reason of why she went in. After I watched her interview, it gave me so much more clarity on it, where I kind of looked at it a little different, because when I initially was watching it, I was like, what? You know, I got this. But then I was like, okay, I get it when I heard it in her words.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to go watch it.
Yeah. Generation Love says I played this movie or a few in the nursing home. 1 Jew and 2 niggas. The movie what?
Impressive, except for the first boyfriend, as if a Caucasian Jew was the motivation again of the
Yeah, a
Like,
lot of people. Yeah, a lot of
Mhm.
people felt that way. That's kind of how it came across. That's probably not how they intended it to come across, but
right.
a lot of people had that same sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing that it was for a man is, but that's just today's time. Back then, they weren't thinking about that. She wasn't gonna
Yeah.
find her
Hey,
man.
Zainin, how you doing? Thanks for coming
Hey,
through.
hey,
Yeah, I
Dana.
agree. I agree. I agree.
I
So
think because
this
they
was
made it.
an
I think
actual
because they made
person,
it romantic. Because like, if he's her
right?
childhood friend, if something happened to your childhood friend, would you not feel the same
Exactly.
way? Whether it
Yeah.
was the opposite sex,
Exactly.
the same sex, you would want to know
Exactly.
what happened. But the romantic part, I guess,
Exactly.
kind of threw
Yeah.
people for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then because from what she said, she went for because of him. Like, well, she
Hmm.
didn't say that, but that's what we know. That's what it was.
Right. Hey,
Like,
Monique Nicole.
we wouldn't do
Yeah.
that in the day's time. We wouldn't,
Right.
but of course, that was the back then. She
Yeah.
wanted to go find her man or her friend.
Now I
So
don't think
yeah.
I'd have gone as far to join the army because
Yeah.
just no.
Yeah.
But I would have tried to get to the bottom of it somehow, some way.
Yeah, but we had my girl. She was running from her husband. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody had their different reasons why they went in. I just think it's the way that it came across. I definitely get the critique when it comes to that part, but I would have just
Yeah.
said it could have been done in a different way. I wouldn't say that she should be wiped out because, like, what are we talking about here?
yeah,
But yes, like you said, we had Donna Bristol, who baby everybody was saying was Jasmine Guy. No, it's not Jasmine Guy. Okay, and she has played in many of movies of her own. Hidden Figures.
people are crazy.
Was Hidden Figures was another great one. I didn't even know about them like that. We wasn't hearing about the woman that was behind the people that was going to Mars. We was only hearing about the moon. We was only hearing about the people that was going to the moon. We wasn't hearing about the scientists and the mathematician that was these smart women. So
brains.
Mm-hmm.
The brains behind it all.
Right. And then we also had I don't know how to pronounce her name and I don't want to mess it up, but she was playing Susie. I think one was playing her mother and one was playing, was it the aunt?
I think it's her aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it says aunt there.
Yeah.
So live with
So
her and encourages her to do what's best for her in her life.
Elder mother.
yeah, a college educated woman. These were smart women that were doing all different kind of things. Like, so to try to minimize it, I was offended by that. He was also
and he was laughing at that poor lady when she was like, "Oh, I'm a mortician." I was like, "That's pretty impressive for a black woman." I know you don't feel like it goes with what y'all are doing here, but it'll work out somewhere. She'll figure something out.
Exactly. So this, Jay Reeves was playing Private Hugh Bell, who really did become Lena's husband. Okay, in real life. And then, of course, we had Miss Kerry Washington. That again, I can't say it enough. I believe that she do deserve awards because she was playing Charity Adams, and Charity Adams was born December 5th, 1918. Y'all, she passed away January 13th, 2022. I think she was 2002. I think she was either 83 or 84 years old. She was the first African American to be an officer in the Women's Auxiliary Corps. She was the commanding officer of the 688. Adams was the highest ranking black woman in the Army by the completion of the war. Okay. There was a monument dedicated to her November 30th, 2018. Fort Adams was renamed in honor of her for Greg Adams in 2023. And she has the first ever U.S. military base bearing a black woman's name. Okay. She fought racism, bigotry, sexism. She was an educator, earning her master's degree in psychology. Okay, put some respect on her name. She was the director of a student personal and an assistant professor at Georgia State. She did community service. She received many honors: Woman of the Year in 1946, Top 10 Woman in 1965, Service Award in 1989, Woman Hall of Fame 1979, another Hall of Fame 1993. Like, yes, and I would love to have a more in depth. Like, I don't mind somebody else just doing a movie on her and how she got here and the things she did. I would not be mad at it at all. I'm here for every single minute of it.
And I would like to add that she was born in North Carolina, but she grew up in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yes. yes. Okay. So my South Carolina family. All right.
Yes.
Oh, and Lena, I forgot to mention with her, she was born January 27th, 1923. Died January 18th, 2024. So she just recently died. Was a member of the 688, of course. Joined when she was 20 years old, so young, man. And then in 1945, she volunteered, of course. And later on, after she retired from the military, she moved to Los Angeles with her husband. They did have 2 kids. She was a nurse. And in her 90s, she became a prominent figure in honoring the legacy of the 688. She died peacefully just days before her 101st birthday. So I'm so happy that these women got to live long lives. I know some didn't, but she at least got to see
part of it.
Yeah,
they were able to live long lives. Like, they didn't just pass away at 40 and 50. They lived long time.
Yeah. And that's then awesome. You had,
and I'm glad they got recognition. I just wish they got it earlier.
Yes. Because even Lena said it was bittersweet. She was like, she's happy that she's here to see it, but then also felt sad that her sisters, did not live to see it, right? So, C. Adams was a tall woman and was the highest ranking Black woman in World War II. Yes, Lena joined the military because her father, Lionel, didn't have money for Lena to go to the university. Yeah. So Abby is another one I want to mention. Abby N. Campbell was born in Alabama, 1918. She's a second generation graduate of Tuskegee Institute and Tuskegee, Alabama chapter of Delta Sigma sorority. She taught home economics before enlisting in the Women's Corps in 1942. Of course, she served along with the 688 as well, and she was quickly promoted to captain, becoming one of the first Black women in the Army Corps to be a, Army Corps officer. Okay, so that's why I said we need to be shining the light on her, and this is something that they put up, for her in Ohio. Charity also has this statue. This is so beautiful. I would love to go see this in person. Really, really awesome. And she did write a book for anybody that's interested in. Her book is called One Woman's Army. And then another book that's written by one of the women, Brenda L. Moore, is called To Serve My Country, to Serve My Race, for anybody that's interested. So yeah, that's the stuff that we have to look forward to, look out for on our own, unfortunately, because we can't wait for other people to tell us about it. And then, of course, Milana Jackson, she played Captain Abby Noel Campbell, who, DeMarcus was mentioning in the chat. I actually found some stuff on her Instagram, because just as far as looking on Google, it wasn't much. So if y'all go over to her Instagram, she has a lot. I just kind of picked out these. And she went to a museum where they had info on her, and I'm sure also did her own research, and with the research that Tyler did in order for her to even be able to play this role. But this is just amazing to me.
Yeah,
it really, really is. And that is, some more of Abby. Abby was out here in these streets, okay? Don't play around. She did some amazing things. You see her and Captain Adams together. I love it. Zamarcus says, I love some Donna Briscoe too. I remember that she played Lady Bird in Saints and Sinners. Yeah, she's been in a lot. Hey, the Queen, what's going on? Hey, Queen, you said you loved it.
Kendall said, look at me.
She was starting on them.
Kendall
Okay.
said, look at me.
Yes. So yeah, Sam Waterston as Franklin Roosevelt. I expected more because he's been around. He's a seasoned actor. I'm just gonna say that, but he did what he came to do, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of
he didn't have that big of a role though.
Yeah, he really did.
He only had little.
Then we had Susan Sarandon as Eleanor Roosevelt. Susan could have gave us more too. I love me some Susan. However, I will say that she had Eleanor's demeanor down pat. Like she really was giving me Eleanor as far as that part. And that was very real in the fact that they used to say anyway that Eleanor was the one that was running that White House. Okay.
Yes,
the husband was just there just to be there. She was getting the things done. And her and Oprah Winfrey, of course, was playing Mary Malone Bethune. They really were close in real life, and of course, she was an activist, and they both kind of fought and were the advocates for the women to be in the army. So when they showed that part, that was all accurate as well. The fact that she told him, well, y'all white counterparts ain't been getting it done. Send these black women in there. They gonna clean it right on up and get it done.
And do.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed. Okay.
And half the time. That's the overachieving of it all.
And in the worst living quarters conditions and things, everything we had to go through. Listen, we got it done. Okay. Look at me. We got it done.
Absolutely. He talking about, oh, y'all got time to get your hair done, sir? Sir, let this lady cook, please. She letting the people sleep so they can come on. You can't ask for a better supervisor or boss than that, okay?
They were taking turns and sleeping in shifts because they were working round
the clock.
Round the clock, every single day. What are we talking about?
They had 3, and that was like when he was
good
coming
of her
there
to do that because you can't get that.
Yeah. When the guy was going in, I was like, sir, please do not go in the showers. Please don't disrespect him like that.
Right.
I was so scared. I was like, please tell me this man not finna go in the shower.
Oh, they had a couple of times that they pissed me off.
I was like, oh God, please.
Yeah.
Zaynan says, did you notice how they showed how the individuals can come up to the White House in the 40s? That was possible to request a meeting with the First Lady. Sometimes the president's things have changed. Absolutely. Absolutely.
How many days? How long was she out there?
Yeah, she was standing out there, honey. That's what you call standing on business. Okay. Literally. Rain, she didn't give a damn.
I had me a little lawn chair, right. I can't do all that standing.
Yes,
we're gonna stand and we're gonna sit.
Kylie Jefferson played Bernice, Baker. She became a close friend to Lena. And of course, these were the two that unfortunately lost their lives, baby. I did tear up with this. I really did. You had Vera Scott and Inez Bright. And the fact that they would not pay for the damn funeral. They could go out there to fight for y'all. They could go out there to do the mailing, to be put in danger, but y'all ain't even got it to do to give these girls a funeral. So they literally had to, get up money to bury them. Y'all had any thoughts about that?
It made me upset. And I saw that the guy was standing there waving. So I was like, was he trying to get them to not go that way? Because she was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, please, no, not what I think this is going to be. And it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I guess that's the risk you take. And they weren't actually at war, but
yeah,
that hurt my heart a little bit.
It did. That hurt my heart real bad, and Lord, it really did. This ass, he was another one that hurt my he was. I mean, it's not surprising, but it's just like
It's giving real life. Yes.
Your blood boil you. To come in there and be so disrespectful and nasty and ignorant, you want to tell them what a horrible job they did. And that was another thing, because we got to think about also, they didn't bring them in for this job to be like, okay, yeah, y'all gonna get this job done and our soldiers is gonna get they melt. They brought them in almost as if it was kind of a joke, and they already was expecting them to fail and wanted them to fail. They didn't want them to do good at it. And even at first, when Charity and the ladies is told that this is what they're coming to do, they're kind of like, man, but then you see how much it is, and you see the people that's affected by it that don't know whether their family members are alive or not. So you're like, wow, this actually is important, and you're just trying to do the best at your job that you could do. But then you're dealing with these ignorant a-holes. Like, even when we talk about that part where they started dancing, right? They say that they want her to be in charge of the dance so that she could freaking entertain the men. She's basically like, what? I ain't got time for that. But they go and they get down. I actually like that part. I was like, y'all better work it. But then
they needed a little break.
Yeah, they needed a break. And what was he, a chancellor, when he came and he wanted to start his damn mess? I was like, oh, look,
sprinkling his holy water.
Yeah, like, sirs, get out of here. We don't have time for this. Like, if you ain't really coming here to pray for us, then we don't need you here.
And they definitely thought it was a game, so they opened that first hangar, and she's like, how many more? She was like, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
It's
going to be a little something.
Right.
And then I like the part where they're saying take Lena out, but it was Lena who kind of got through to her on the importance of people not getting stuff from their families, of you throwing dog tags around. People are waiting to hear from their families. They lost family members. They don't have no contact. So I feel like that kind of, now I don't know whether that's accurate to real life, but it kind of opened her eyes to like, you know what? This does mean something to me. It's more than just a job. This means something to people. So I don't know how you're going to write Paulina out. That's just my opinion. You muted, Tamika.
I don't know either. That's why I don't think that the people that were making those comments actually looked at like who was real, because some of the characters were fictional, but that was not one. So it was like, I don't think they did the research before making that comment, but okay, it is what it is.
Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, the Lawrence report.
Hey, Lawrence, how are you? So, I don't know. I was trying to move it so that when I put the banner up, it'll be in your face.
And there was definitely a tearjerker. Also,
have to be like Johnny May. She was not a. I'm sorry, Tamika. I'm because you about to make me go there with these people being inhumane. Like, I don't understand. Like, why is there a problem? Is it because, like Kendall said, is it because of TP? Is it TP that's the problem? If it is, then y'all need to erase that TP crap, because he was not the only person listed there. That's who y'all think of when y'all see this. And it does not even depict a Tyler Perry movie. Like, this is not even his typical movie. No. So I don't understand the complaints of the Tyler Perry-isms, like the fake stuff. I
feel like it's a little TP, and it's a little
like, stop.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little TP and a little bit of the isms, because let's be real.
Yes, absolutely. The isms was out there. They were.
Got to do all that. Like, just take it for what it is and do your research. This is for y'all to do y'all research, okay? This is not for us to be stuck on this daggum movie.
They don't want to do their research.
Listen to this, and that's it. It's for you to pick up a book or go to your Googler and read and do your own research. And then
but people don't feel that they should have to do that. I'm just telling y'all what the streets was saying, okay?
Do your
don't shoot the messenger. Right.
Yeah, they just
Now,
looking at critique. That's it.
Johnny May was a fictional character. How did y'all feel about her?
Okay.
I loved her.
I
said,
mean,
"Look at me."
everybody got a Johnny May. it's needed. Everybody got a Johnny May.
Martha and Mary got to
And
be
it
strapped
took-
down, baby. These is titties.
And I was gonna say, and also represents how yes, the breastises, but also it represents how some people struggle to deal with the isms, because like
Mhm.
some people fell in line and some people were more, a little about it. She had to pull it back.
She
So
had to
we
hold it
got to
back.
see
Mhm.
all spectrums of people, because as they say, Black people aren't a monolith. So I was glad we got to see different representation.
Yes.
Yeah, because she was the
And she
more
was comic relief.
outspoken person.
Yes.
She was a comic relief. You have the person, the preacher's daughter. You had
Mhm.
the Charity that was with Karen's character. And Charity, she was just like, someone that had grew up with two women and was like, and had a friend that was, a Caucasian friend. You got the church girl. You got the girl that don't care what she say. You got the meek and mild person. You just have all these different characters.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's real life. Like,
It
even though
is.
I think she's a combination of people, in my opinion. She probably is.
Yes, I believe that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they did kind of mention her weight a little bit. Yeah. But
The
she strapped
preacher's
them boobs
daughter
down.
was so uppity.
Real life.
Listen, but it be uppity people, right? It be uppity people. And that's real too. She wasn't used to that. She came from a different walk of life. And I did kind of like that they showed that they all came, from different places, had different beliefs, but then we coming together, we trying to figure out how we going, sort all this out, and all of us have something that we can add to it, or something that we're good in that can help us to be able to figure out how to get the job done. Right?
How to problem solve it. Everybody played their part.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then when she was like, they was like Mary Cloud Bethune, she like, Matt, who?
Yeah, she had never heard of.
I said, Lord have mercy. It's like, where are you from?
Yeah. What did y'all think about this General Hope? Dean Norris is usually a good actor too. I just don't know what was happening with some of the acting. But...
Ain't that Uncle Daddy?
Yes, that is Uncle Daddy, and he played in what was the other daggone thing? Damn, it just came to me and left me again. But he's a well-known actor.
Yes, he is.
I can't remember the name of it. Oh man, it's gonna bother me till I remember. Marcus, put it in the chat. I know you know.
He's Stabler's father in Stabler's
SVU?
Not his
spinoff. His new organized crime show. Yeah, but he played in something else from back in the days too. I just can't think of it right now. But he was Uncle Daddy as well.
That's what. As soon as I saw him, that's what I thought. Listen, I'm gonna chalk up the bad acting to these people are not got the ism, so maybe it was hard for them to portray a role that was not close to their. Look, we're gonna go with that. Like you said, they seasoned actors, so there's no reason for them not to get the role. But some of the things that they had to portray, maybe they just wasn't comfortable with it. We gonna go with that. Probably not, but we gonna go with that.
I've never seen.
Yeah, he was definitely an a-hole in this. It is gonna bother me till I think of it, y'all, because it was a well-known show that was on for a while. I'm trying to remember.
The market's gonna pop up in the 11th hour and tell you.
Yeah, because usually the markets be knowing all of the stuff. Because I feel like it's like right there. Yes, Breaking Bad. That is it. Yes. Yeah.
Who is warning signs? Sir, ma'am, you about to get kicked out. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
He what is this? I don't know what that means.
But they about to get kicked out.
I don't know. Got one more comment.
Hey.
DeMarcus
going
Hamilton,
on?
sir.
But yeah, he definitely was an a-hole child. He was an a-hole, and the way she checked him, I was like, yes, ma'am. Come on through. And that's one thing they said Charity did not play. She was definitely standing on business. She was not going for that. She was gonna stand up for her for her troops, her peoples, and she knew that in some cases it could get her in trouble. She could have been court-martialed. She could have lost her job. But when it came down to it, she was not trying to hear and play no damn games. Okay. So that was I just thought that was really beautiful.
And that made me cry too when she was like, get back to work. And it was like, and then she came down and then they clapped and she started Kerry Washington started Kerry Washington and I was like,
yeah, because she always got when she do that cry. That is just her thing. She gonna cry, but she ain't really crying. But it's on the verge of crying. Yes, that's a fact. Definitely was a representation of that.
Yeah. Oh, he said Lethal Weapon 2. He was in Lethal Weapon 2 also.
He was in Lethal Weapon 2. I just watched that recently. I don't even remember him in there. I don't know.
I was a jerk in there too because it looked like he played a jerk in everything he in because
he a little spicy. Oh yeah, he was. He is on the credits for that and Gremlins.
Law and Order, he is a joke. He a trip.
Yeah. So these was also books, just in case anybody was interested. You have No Better Time by Sheila Williams. You have the 6888. I can't see the name on it, y'all. Then you have, wait, let me make this bigger because I can't see none of this, y'all know.
Now you listed them all out, girl. So Graham is the purple one. That's all I can see.
The Courageous 6888.
The All Black Female Battalion.
All Black Film, yeah.
And I can't read that white part though, child.
Sisters in Arms. Child, I had to post this up in the community tab for y'all because I ain't even gonna lie. But if y'all go to Amazon, all of these are on Amazon, and you type it in, even if you just say 6888 books, they automatically come up. And they all about $8, $9, $10. It ain't like a whole bunch of money. Now, I personally would probably want the two that, not saying that these aren't good and don't have good information, but just me, I would probably want the first two that I showed that are actually from the members that was in the battalion, especially Charity, but these are some other ones just in case, right? Oh, Sisters in Arms is good. See, we got somebody that actually read it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So there is other documentaries and also books that you can get as well, in case you want to see a little bit more. Never hurts to have some more info.
Yeah, I need a little more info. Now they done pulled me in.
Yes, because
I don't have girls, but
watching the interviews.
Yeah. I don't have girls, but I can still teach my boys because like I said, representation matters. We get so much on Black men, and I love that too. Do not get me wrong, but I feel like so often when it comes to Black women, like a lot of our stories from back then aren't as prominent. So definitely gonna do my research.
Yes. Well, I said I know Dallas gonna be doing this come February, child, because
yeah, so this was last minute, y'all. I didn't really get to, like I said, organize it, and I didn't want it to necessarily be like a full review, like scene by scene, but I did want to discuss them and discuss some of the things that they did and just shine a light on them, because before I was doing Shine a Light pretty much during Black History Month, I did one on like all the Black inventors and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I think I did one on Rosewood, so sometimes it's movies, sometimes it could be actors, it could be things that we did, just all across the board. And I felt like this fit in a good place to shine a light on, them as well. Cause I was like, I didn't even know about these women. I felt kind of bad about it. Like even
Yeah.
Michelle Obama
Mhm.
gave them an award, and you could actually hear her speaking at a part towards the end of this movie. And just to know again that they didn't even get real recognition to almost 80 years later when a lot of them was gone, and that just makes me sad. But
Yeah.
I'm happy that we learning about it now.
That, and like when Lena was saying at the end that when they came home, it was like nothing, that they got more recognition over in Europe, but when they came back to the
Mhm.
States, I was like, and I mean, it was
Yeah.
like that for the black men too, but I was just
Yes,
like,
yes,
dang.
absolutely. Yeah. It was no parades. It was no, and probably only other reason why we do, have at least some things that we could look at and see is because thank God they were recording and taking pictures of them. And then them, being able to do interviews and tell a little bit of their story later. Mind you, when they left from that place, because again, somebody said, oh, well, they came at the ending of it, but they literally transferred from where they was at to France June 1945 and sorted through some more mail that was a 3-year backlog and did that in 5 months. And then when the war ended, they came home. Their unit was reduced from 800 women to 300 women by February 1946, and then the battalion was disbanded. But like I said, I don't care if it was a minute, an hour, a second, a day, 3 days. They was there. What was you doing?
They did it, okay. And then I like when they were able to march, and whatever she threw out at them, they did it. They said, it was just beautiful of how they were able to just do those whatever, her cadences and whatever they would do, just the marching of it all. And they were able to march, and they were able to do all the things that the men were doing,
to train like actual soldiers.
Yeah, they really had to go through that training. Like they went through all that gas, and I couldn't do it.
Yes. Okay. And then
Don't put me near nobody's army, not then or now.
She just did a little writing on, I think Marcus, who did the gas mask? Marcus, the stoplight, Marcus Garvey. Is that who did that?
No, I don't think that was.
I can't remember his name, and she just did this like a couple weeks ago. But the thing is, as we saw the gas mask on the movie, I was like, dang, we just talked about that, about doing the gas mask, and they just had.
Yeah, I did a video on that, but don't get me the freaking lying right now. I don't remember the name either, but I know what you're talking about. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Strong, and then the man took a picture of her as soon as she came out, had to get some air. Like, y'all want them to fail. Like
Garrett Morgan is the traffic. Yes. Had to look it up. So I'm like, get
Gary,
yes,
that's right before the holidays. She had to write something about him. So yeah.
I
was like, damn, we got the gas mask, child.
And then it's so like ironic, like you used us to, and they do this, and not just to the women, to the men, to do what you needed us to do, and then disbanded it after we got it all done. Like, oh, okay, thanks.
So what y'all gonna do?
It's crazy.
But then was it okay? So when
now that we fixed the problem,
when she got into it with the guy, because they were in Georgia, she got into it with the guy that was above her, or whatever, or they were on the same level. Then it was like, well, we finna send y'all somewhere. It's like, so it's a punishment because I wouldn't let him. I ain't finna kiss his tail. Like,
yeah, absolutely. You already know what time it is.
Child,
it wasn't taking them seriously, no way, because you had the double of being a woman and being brown, so it was like.
Yes, and then you the leader
in the 1940s.
Yeah, and then you the leader. It's two of y'all that's the leader, okay?
Yeah. And the fact that they were like, well, the white women already went there and tried it, and the white men went there and tried, like what they gonna do if they couldn't do it,
Yeah.
I can show you better than I can tell you, right?
Okay, let me work. I got this. And it took them a minute from what we saw to get their bearings too.
Yes.
But I
yeah,
like
I
the way they
can't
were
even
on that
imagine
map.
walking in there and seeing mountains of damn mount. I would have been like, oh hell no, we ain't gonna be able to do this. And it's
It did though.
infested. It got rotten food and
Yes. No, they probably had no gloves.
Every letter
Right.
say John Smith, Michael Williams. What? All these generic names. Like 600
Yeah.
people by the
My
same
son.
name. I'd have been like, what?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Kendall says, shine a light on the 6888 ANTP still keeping Black people employed in the film industry. Yeah, I said it. Okay. Yes, I agree. I agree. Listen, we can, all watch things and come away with different perspectives. Everything ain't gonna be for everybody. I don't really care about none of that part. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's plenty of people, like I said, that give valid critiques that I really feel like he should listen to. But in this particular case, I just felt like some of the things was not really about what this movie was talking about. It was about some other things that didn't need to be there for me. So I didn't want to focus on that part. I wanted to focus on them and the fact that, hey, at least somebody said this is a story worth telling. And I hope that we get more like these, because I'm sure it's a whole bunch more. Like, we know that it was 800 and something of them, and we've only got a handful of names. So think about how many more names there is. And think about the fact that there's even interviews with some of the family members of some of these ladies that said they didn't know that their aunt or their grandmother was even in this. And so when, all of this came up, then you have Big Sean, whose grandmother was actually a part of the battalion, and him and his mom was at the movie premiere. I seen somebody else tweet out that their grandmother was one of the women. I meant to get a screenshot of it, but I didn't. But, so I think that's amazing. Like, I would be so proud if this is one of my aunts or my grandmother.
For sure.
And I'm so proud of them, even though I'm not, that I know of related to any of them. But yeah, shine a light on them. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, they deserve it.
My algorithm did pretty good though, because the only critique that I really got that I saw was this was kind of like they wanted more like character development, but it was
I could understand that.
Story, so. I was like, oh, okay. So by the time I started watching it, I was like, all right, but I'm sure there are other.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. For the most part, that's what I was seeing. I was either seeing people that were saying they wanted more, or I was seeing people that just was like, okay, I enjoyed it. Even people that usually, like I said, give critique where it needs to be given. I can't even say I'll be disagreeing with them. Was like, now this is the one. Keep doing, ones like this. But then it was just
because we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about any of them, so we just wanted more. But
we wanted more. And I would love if he is going to tell us he got something else coming, because I want to know
the
more.
Obamas.
Right. There's enough room for everybody.
Yeah, there's enough room. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all put it in the comments. Y'all let us know what y'all thought about this. What did you know about these women before this? Now that you do know, do you want more? Are you gonna look at the documentary? I also heard that it was a documentary on Tubi. I didn't get to check yet. I've seen a bunch on YouTube though. I can tell you will find a whole bunch of interviews and different, things on them on YouTube. And like I said, the books. So we do have some things to work with, that we could start learning more about these beautiful women. But that's basically what I got, y'all. Just want to, come up here and talk about these lovely ladies. Anything else y'all want to add that y'all feel like we didn't talk about?
No, I just was very proud and very excited to watch it, and I think they did a good job. Like I said, because with 2 hours, I didn't feel like, oh my God, when is it? Sometimes 2 hours, you're like, when is it going to end? I'm like, oh wait, we getting to the end, and we didn't. That's I wanted some more of this and some more of that. So
I didn't really realize it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
Until y'all said it, I watched it twice. I didn't realize it was 2 hours. Y'all said it because I wasn't looking at that. I didn't. When it went off, I
Yeah.
was like, hold a minute, wait a minute. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I definitely do think Kerry Washington deserves an award. I'm not mad at it that she get a couple of nominations because she definitely came and said, listen, I'm about to be Charity Adams. Okay, you gonna put some respect. And she said she watched like her mannerism. She really, researched her and wanted to embody her and wanted to make her proud. I feel that she did. So yeah, thank y'all, DeMarcus Vaughn, Zanin, Kendall, the Lawrence Report, Barbara Johnson, Auntie was in the building, OT Lungs, the Lawrence Report, Stephen Harris, chatting with a friend. I don't know if I missed anybody. But I appreciate all of y'all for coming through. Barbara Johnson, my person of the week. Shout out to you. Okay, shine a light on her. Hey, shine a light on her. Hey. I appreciate y'all.
I do want to add, Tamika, there is a movie on Tubi. It's called The 688, and it's all together. The 688 is all together. It was in 2019. And when it first comes on, it is it's like a real life
like a documentary?
Yes, of Charity.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out because I did hear it, but I didn't confirm it. So I'm gonna definitely check that out. Okay, y'all heard it here first.
Yes. And she's standing at a podium.
Okay, looks like she was gonna go to look to it. Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely check that out, y'all, when y'all get a chance. Because we have to do our own research, unfortunately. We can't just think that, they're going to be telling us everything and they're going to be giving us everything, especially when they want to go ahead and take away even daggone Sesame Street don't even have a daggone place right now, child. So we got to be on top of our stuff for us, by us, okay?
Yes.
But yeah, that's what we got. We gonna catch up with y'all beautiful peoples down and around these YouTube streets. Candy Love, you got anything else going on, girl, that you want to tell the people about?
Tomorrow, Love and Hip Hop Huntsville. With Monique 69 Ways Johnson and Lighten It Up with Letitia at probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow. I hadn't set it up yet. And then we have All the Queen's Men. We'll be in Virtual Club Eating with Tamika, EJ, and Tika Deshawn, All Things Ruthless, at 9:30, 9:45 tomorrow. And yeah, that's it right now. Just keep your notification bells on. Notification gang.
Miss Kara, what you got going
notifications on. I got like 2 little pieces of Christmas content. I was just gonna get up just to be done with it. We did Married to Medicine. We caught up. We got a little break this week, so it's not back till after the New Year. So other than that, I'm just kind of poking around, taking a break, trying to set up my schedule for next year, the shows that I wanted to cover. I wanted to put together a panel, just different things that I wanted to do. So I'm kind of trying to set that up while I have this like little bit of time, because once New Year's comes, it's like back at it. Bound will be back. Married to Medicine will be back. And we'll be getting Harlem is coming in January. All these different shows. So I'm like pacing myself and trying to set up my.
Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't even supposed to be up here today. I was supposed to be getting some stuff together in the house and then getting my stuff together for self-care and what you should be watching next week. But here I am. I done did a pop-up self-care. Now we here doing this. So only other thing I got is All the Queen's Men. Of course, tomorrow the virtual club eating with EJ and Tika and Candy Love. I'll be, coming through with them, and I believe Sisters is on break, and then so I won't have nothing else again until like Friday is Love at the Lockup. I think. Oh no, I'm lying. Zatima, I think we making up and we doing episodes 11 through 14, if I'm not mistaken, because we didn't do the 2 this week and that came back. So Thursday I'll be back probably with Zatima. Then Friday will be Love at the Lockup and Saturday will be Self-Care Saturday, and what you should be watching. You never know. I could pop up in between that, but if not, y'all just gonna see me around town. And everybody have a happy new year. Be safe. We appreciate y'all coming through. Come on the replay, of course. Replay game. You came by, put some flames up in the sky. Okay, so let's put y'all like, comment, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the ladies' channels, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. And we will check y'all the next time.